Hello everyone, I'm going to go through an introductory video to JADAK's Clarity Studio software. Clarity Studio is a tool that JADAK's customers can use to develop machine vision algorithms for use on JADAK cameras. The nice thing about Clarity Studio is you don't have to be a machine vision engineer to use it, nor do you even have to be a software engineer. But if you have those kind of skills, it provides the hooks and handles so that you can bring your own code into the environment. Quick introduction to the software, which is showing on the screen here. The center area is what we call the canvas, and that's where you're going to do all your work in Clarity Studio. Over in this section, there's a menu where you can bring in what we call nodes. And nodes are pieces of machine vision code that are performing specific actions. And then you pull in several nodes and connect them together to develop what we call a graph. And a graph altogether is going to generate a script that you can run in our camera that's going to perform the machine vision needed for your particular application. So with that brief intro, I'm going to bring in a pre-built graph that I've already been using. Now in this graph, I'm looking at test tubes. And what I'm doing is fairly simple. I'm looking at tall and short test tubes, and I'm trying to determine, is it a tall tube or a short tube? And is the cap on or is the cap off? And to do that, I have 4 nodes here that are looking at those 4 different conditions, as you can see. Is it a tall tube with a cap on? Is it a tall tube without the cap? Is it a short tube with the cap on? Or is it a short tube without the cap? And to do that, I'm looking at this background to see, I'm counting these bright pixels in the background, which of course will be blocked by that test tube or the test tube cap, depending on which image I'm seeing. And so, for instance, in this node, I'm looking at a different area for one of those different conditions. I take all these 4 different outputs and I'm putting them into what I call an output node here. And that's where you could go right into the code for that output node. You can take those different conditions from these different nodes and manipulate them for the eventual message that you want to send to your host. One thing you'll notice right here is this output node, there's only 2 inputs to it, right? Even though I have 4 conditions here. So I have this output node, which I bring in the 4 different tall, short test tube conditions. And you can go into this node, and with some Python programming, you can modify those different conditions to give the output string that you might want to send to your host. I'll do a quick demo here of how that would work. As you notice, I only have 2 inputs to this node, even though we have 4 conditions. So I'm going to do a quick code modification to add 2 more inputs to this node. And I already have that code written, so I'll just quickly uncomment the code that I wrote ahead of time. And now you can see I have 4 inputs to that node. I'll just connect those up. And again, now I can go in this code and I can go to the actual output messages and I can manipulate those various inputs to give the final result that I might want to see on my host computer. And you could take and erase this whole node altogether and bring your own code in as well, so that for people with the higher level programming skills and machine vision skills, they have that capability. So this was just a quick intro to Clarity Studio. We have some more extensive videos that'll be available on our website as well. Feel free to call us and talk to us about this if you'd like to experiment with this software. Thank you.